What is going on, my fellow boxing fans, my fellow boxing enthusiasts, and my fellow boxing aficionados, and even my boxing casuals out there? What is going on? We got a pretty good triple header this weekend on Showtime, with the headline being Adrien Broner versus Jessie Vargas. Those are your headliners. Not the greatest of main events, but it still should be a fun fight. Now, Adrien Broner, when he's not busy assaulting people out in public or assaulting people after a high-stakes game of bowling, he's a pretty good boxer. He's a very talented boxer, and maybe even an underachieving boxer when you really think about it. Adrien Broner might be the most underwhelming four-division champion of all time. I mean, let's take a look at how he's won these titles. He's the former WBO super featherweight champion, a vacant title he won against Vicente Rodriguez back in 2011. Not that great. He's also the former WBC lightweight champion, a title he won against Antonio DeMarco, who was the champion. And that win against Antonio DeMarco probably is still Adrien Broner's best win of his career back in 2012. And he just destroyed Antonio DeMarco. DeMarco was a very entertaining fight. I mean, even though it was one-sided, it was plenty of action. Adrien Broner is also the former WBA welterweight champion, a title he won against Paulie Malignaggi back in 2013. And that was a pretty good fight, pretty competitive fight. Props to Paulie Malignaggi, because I thought Broner was going to dominate. But it was a close fight. I think Broner did win. And then Broner went down into the super lightweight division and defeated and won the WBA super lightweight championship against Khabib Alkaradiev. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but it doesn't matter because he hasn't fought since 2015 when he lost to Broner. Broner is going to be entering the ring with a record of 33 wins, 3 losses, and 24 knockouts. His only 3 losses have came against his 3 best opponents. Broner's first loss was back in 2013 against Marcos Maidana in a very, very compelling fight. It was a highly competitive, action-packed fight, but Broner was never the same after the fight. Maidana did give him a beating. I mean, Broner took a beating in that fight, and he was never the same. Then he lost against Sean Porter back in 2015, and then Mikey Garcia in 2017. Now, Jessie Vargas will be entering the ring with a record of 28 wins, 2 losses, and 10 knockouts. Vargas, like Broner, has lost against his only 2 losses have been against his 2 best opponents, Timothy Bradley back in 2015, though he did hurt Bradley in the last few rounds, but he still lost. And he also lost, and his final defeat was to Manny Pacquiao, and he lost that fight clearly. I mean, he had moments, but he lost. Yeah, so Jessie Vargas doesn't really do anything too special. I mean, he doesn't really have any punching power, and he's not extremely fast or anything. He's pretty average. He can do a bunch of little stuff pretty well. He can box decent. He can be a volume puncher. He's not elite. He's definitely not upper echelon. But he can do pretty much most things pretty well. I mean, he's not extremely fast. He doesn't really have blinding hand speed, and he doesn't really have knockout power. He only has 10 knockouts in his 28 wins. So my prediction is Broner's going to win. He should win. Broner's more talented, and Broner has defeated, his only losses were against Maidana, Porter, and Mikey Garcia, and I don't think Vargas is up to that level. And, Vargas lost to Bradley and Pacquiao. So what I see is if Jessie Vargas decides to box a little bit more, then I see Broner pot-shotting him on his way to a decision, maybe a knockout, but I don't really see a stoppage. Now, if Jessie Vargas decides to be a pressure fighter and throw volumes of punches, then I see Broner hitting him with non-stop uppercuts. So I just see a lot of Broner uppercuts snapping Vargas's head upward and back. So yeah, I think Broner's going to win. Pretty somewhat competitive fight, but a clear decision. He might even score a knockdown here and there, but I think Broner wins the decision. Now, for the other 2 fights, you got Jermall Charlo versus Hugo Centeno. That should be a pretty good fight, though Charlo should win this fight. I think he stops Centeno inside maybe the 8th round, around the 8th round I see. And then probably the most competitive fight of the night is going to be Gervonta Davis versus Jesus Cuellar. Now, it depends on how disciplined and in shape Davis is. He should win this fight, but I think Cuellar is a live dog on this one. Cuellar is tough. Cuellar is a lot like, he's like a mini Marcos Maidana. So that should be a good fight. So my predictions for the triple header this Saturday is Broner, decision victory over Vargas. Charlo stops Centeno in probably the 8th round. And then Davis and Cuellar, I think Davis wins a tough decision against Cuellar. But that's the fight that I think could go either way. And that's the fight that I think is going to be the fight of the night. All right, my boxing fans, go ahead and leave a comment, share your thoughts, who you think is going to win these fights. And subscribe if you have yet to do so. And until next time, goodbye and adios.